morning, VBC, and welcome to the final day, day 21 of 21 days of making God first. Recall what God remembers. Thus says the Lord, I remember the kindness of your youth. Jeremiah 2 verse 2. Am I spontaneously as kind to God as I used to be, or am I only expecting God to be kind to me? Don't forget, this was written a long time ago, so the verbiage is different. Does everything in my life fill his heart with gladness, or do I constantly complain because things don't seem to be going my way? We can bless God. We can be kind to God. We can express our appreciation for God through the words we speak of gratitude, through our testimonies, through how we are grateful and thankful, and how we respond to him when he calls us. Those are the ways that we are kind to God. A person who has forgotten what God treasures will not be filled with joy. It is wonderful to remember that Jesus Christ has needs which we can meet. That is, give me a drink. How much kindness have I shown him in the past week? Has my life been a good reflection of his reputation? Maybe that perplexes you just a little bit, of showing kindness to God. But again, the idea here is, how have we expressed our gratitude and spent our time in God, right? The reminder for us with the catechism, as well as what Sue shared, what John Piper, God is most glorified when you are most satisfied in him. I think that's a very convicting but powerful message, and maybe this morning, let God be glorified by you being satisfied in him. God is saying to his people, you are not in love with me now, but I remember a time when you were. He says, I remember the love of your betrothal. Am I filled to overflowing with love for Jesus Christ as I was in the beginning when I went out of my way to prove my devotion to him? Does he ever find me pondering the time when I cared only for him? This is the story of your first love. This is, as Valentine comes up in about 2 weeks or a week and a half, there's a special someone that you've been saving up money. Maybe you're not married yet and you're just really hoping to express your love for this person. May I challenge you that the great expression that you should have is to your God. Ladies, if you want to see that a man can love you, let him learn to love his God so that he can learn to love you properly. Those are things that can be very helpful to you. Does he ever find me pondering the time when I cared only for him? What was that moment, right? That one moment. I remember it was a summer 91 at VBS, Vacation Bible School, where I gave my life to Christ, and it was a moment where everything else seemed to dim away, but my time and my prayer on my knees changed my life. What is that moment for you, and what will you do to keep that relationship going, that first love relationship with you and God? Is that where I am now, or have I chosen man's wisdom over true love for him? Am I so in love with him that I take no thought for where he might lead? There's a line I like to say is, where you lead me, God, I will follow. As we end this 21 days devotion, I'd like to challenge you this morning as you get ready for worship, as you're putting your clothes on, whatever you're doing, or you're driving. I want to ask you this question. If God were to call you, if God spoke to you today and said, follow me, would you willingly go? If he were to call you to walk through some hard, tough moments, maybe mountains that had to be stretched to reach out, you have to reach out to get on them, or maybe valleys that seem so low, that seem so overwhelming, but yet there are moments in there that you can find God. It was in the valley that David defeated his giant. It was in the mountains where Isaac was replaced by a ram, where God provided for Abraham a ram so that Isaac would not have to be sacrificed. See, the one thing that we can know is, regardless of whatever happens, even in the wilderness, Moses was brave to say, God, if you did not go before us, then don't send us. It was very important for these great men and women of God, for them to know that God was with them. Is it important for you today? I think if there's anything else today that you can walk away from, Not that you've listened or that you stayed awake or that you woke up early to spend time with God, but more importantly is God with you, and does that matter to you today? My prayer is that it would matter to you, that God being with you is more important than anything else that you can ever have. And because that's so important, that you would spend time to feed your soul, to nourish your spirit by spending time with God, by reading the Word, by listening to the Word, by meditating on it. So as we end the 21 days, may God bless you. May you experience the joy of what it is to be loved by God, to be pursued by Him as you respond, as you pray and you call on Him. Watch Him answer. God bless you.